Hey, good evening, church. Welcome to another Live at 5. Hope you've had a great week. Hope you have been able to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. And thanks for tuning in with us again tonight. See, I just wanted to share something with you that I've kind of been processing through for the last couple weeks now. So about 10 days ago or something like that, I went to a junior high track meet. And as I was sitting there watching the track meet, it was time for the 100-meter dash. And in one of the heats of the 100-meter dash, there was a young man who was running, and he was clearly the fastest runner in his heat. So the starting gun goes off, and he takes off, and he is ahead of everyone. And he has this look of determination on his face, and his eyes and his focus and everything about him is down the track to the finish line. Well, as he starts to run, he pulls ahead to a significant lead. And I think in that moment, he realized how far ahead he was. And he began to look. He kind of looked to his left and he kind of looked to his right to kind of see where the other runners in the heat were. Well, in doing so, he took his focus off the finish line, off of the end goal, and his focus was now on what was going on around him. Well, as he does this, he begins to stumble. Well, as he stumbles, it causes him to panic. And in his panic, his focus is now on where are the other runners? How close are they? What is going on around me? And he looks more to the left and he looks more to the right. Well, that distraction causes him to stumble even more. And eventually to the point where he falls right there in his lane in the 100-meter dash. And as I'm watching this take place, I was reminded of and drawn to Hebrews chapter 12, where the writer of Hebrews calls us to run the race. He says, run the race that God has set before us. And we do this by keeping our eyes, by keeping our focus on Jesus, the one who has gone before us, the one who has paved the way, the one who has endured the cross and all of its shame and defeated sin and now sits in glory preparing a place for us. And it made me think of the things in life, the things in my life that can pull my focus away from Jesus, and the things in our lives that can distract us from keeping our eyes on the finish line. Maybe things like work. We get distracted by work. What is going on around us? I got to get the promotion. I got to put in the hours. I got to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe it's things like my finances, where I've got to make sure that I've got enough money, and I've got to make sure that I have enough money so I can keep up with those around me. Maybe it's things like we've meant like greed or covetousness or social status or lust. Maybe it's a fear of failure. But we have all these things in our lives that are to our left and to our right, that are chirping in our ears and trying to draw our attention away from Jesus Christ. These things that want to make us look to the left and look to the right and get anxious about what's going on around us. And when we do that, our focus is drawn away from Jesus and to the stuff that is around us. And the writer of Hebrews says, in order for us to run this race, we have to remove those things, the weight that slows us down and the sin that trips us up. And so I guess I just kind of want to finish out this week by maybe a little bit of encouragement and maybe a little bit of self-reflection. What are those things in our lives that draw our focus away from Jesus? What are those things in our lives that can cause us to, maybe look out of the corner of our eyes to the right or to the left? What are those things in our life that pull our attention away from that finish line? And when we recognize those things, we need to remove those things. We need to get those things out of our lives. We need to block them out, if you will, and keep our eyes focused on the finish line. Keep our eyes focused on Jesus. And so as you go throughout today and as you go throughout this week and this weekend and this coming week, I just want to encourage you, as I'm trying to encourage myself, keep your eyes focused on Jesus. Keep your eyes on the finish line. Run the race that God has set before you with your eyes focused on the eternal prize. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great weekend.